What's up, guys? This is Tim the Piano Man. I am a professional piano player and I specialize in playing at retirement communities. I'm going to share a little bit about my story, how I got into playing retirement communities full time, and why I like them better than a lot of other gigs that are out there. In fact, 95% of my gigs these days are retirement communities. And it's not like I couldn't get any other gigs. I've turned down gigs from a lot of decent, excellent, somewhat famous bands that have tried to get me to play with them. For this, one of this main reasons is because I don't like staying up late. And it is like, for a musician, that's a pretty privileged thing to say. I don't like staying up late. But I'm the kind of person that I like to have reasonable sleeping schedule, which a lot of musicians don't have. But that's important to me. Like, it impacts my health maybe more so than others. Or maybe I just have a higher standard because I can actually get these gigs. And I'm going to share with you how to get these gigs coming up later in the video. But before I do that, be sure to like and subscribe. It helps me to reach more piano players and more musicians who want to learn about playing at retirement communities and just exactly how to do it. I play at about, currently at the time of this video, 50 to 60 gigs a month. And like I said, 95% of those are retirement communities. I didn't start out this way. I was playing in bands and rock bands and jam bands, especially in the early 2000s when I was in high school. And that's what I did. That's how I got into music, is because it was a social thing and it was a lot of fun. And, we would jam out and it was poetic. It was poetic and it was youthful. But poetry and youth didn't pay the bills. So I ended up sort of coming to this point where I was very demoralized. I felt empty. I didn't feel like my music was making an impact because we would play and there'd be crowds, and decent crowds sometimes, at these bars of people that were just drunk and getting into it, which was fun. But then the next day, I didn't feel like I made an impact because half the people in the bar couldn't remember what happened, which was, to me, it felt shallow. It didn't feel like I was making big enough an impact on these people's lives. And also, too, it was affecting my health because sometimes at these bars in Memphis, before the pandemic, they would lock the doors at 3 a.m. and then keep playing. And I didn't like that because I wouldn't really get paid that much more anyways. Maybe we're kind of exploited. So around that time, I started playing at senior homes, and I didn't know that this would be the biggest income stream in my life later on. Because to me, I was like, okay, I'll play for $50 at a senior home. Because I was in a jazz program at the time. I was studying at the University of Memphis, and some teacher hooked me up with this gig for $50 at a nursing home. Well, I suspect that he took a 50% cut because it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for a gig. Maybe it was enough for a student, but I don't know. That's not my philosophy. I think that you need to get paid decently. But anyways, I started playing these gigs during the daytime, and then I did other work throughout the years. I hadn't completely sold myself on playing at senior homes full time because I didn't know how to actually make something like a full-time gig. I was still playing in bands, and I was trying to be this, I was trying to make it on my own because I had grand artistic aspirations. And I was writing a lot of songs, but none of it had really very good traction. And I still wasn't making any money. Eventually, I got a job with this blues band, and we toured for a year. I toured with them on the road for a year, and I hated it. Don't get me wrong, there was good things about it, but I didn't like the road life. That just wasn't for me. And it was long hours, and it was grueling, and it was painful in a lot of different ways. And especially, it wasn't making me a ton of money. So after a year, I professionally and respectfully resigned, found a replacement, and went full-time into retirement communities. And the way that I did that is I doubled down on well, really tripled or quadrupled down on the activities, the things, the actual acts that I could do that would be making me money, which for me was calling retirement communities and actually booking gigs. The reason that I did this wasn't only financial though, because there was an emotional impact that was going on the road, playing late nights, playing in bars. I just didn't like the vibe. To me, like I said, it was empty. It felt shallow. I wasn't really making the impact, and I wasn't getting the fulfillment that fueled me musically. But with the senior gigs, I could get that. Now, not every time, like there's a wide variety of gigs out there. And I play them all at the senior homes. There's independent living, assisted living, skilled nursing, long-term care, memory care, all these different sort of all these different gradients in the journey of seniors. They have different needs, and they need different things, and they need different kinds of entertainment. And I'm not going to get into that in this video, but the point is that they were extremely fulfilling, because I could play and see their faces light up and see their eyes sparkle, especially in memory care. By the way, independent living and memory care are very different. Independent living is what I call the cruise ship phase, like just retired, don't have to work anymore. They want to live it up. They want to party. They want to have a good time. That doesn't last forever though. Eventually you get tired of it, or their bodies get tired of it, and they have to like chill out a little bit more. Maybe they need more assistance, aka assisted living. Maybe they develop a memory care issue, and then they get into memory care. But you still make an impact because the songs live somewhere very deep in the memory. There's people that don't have any recollection of who you are, and they're not with it at all in memory care. But they'll remember a song that you play. They'll remember the words, the lyrics to the song that I don't even know the lyrics to. I mean, it is remarkable to see the impact that one can have at memory care units, memory care and dementia facilities, even in independent living. Like, all of these, by the way, solve the problem of I'm playing too late and it's hard on my body and I don't like it and it's hard work. Yeah, there are some gigs that I play where I have to be high energy, like a happy hour, for example. I have to bring it. But that's just an hour. Like, these gigs are only an hour long. I was playing at a very prominent steakhouse in Memphis, Tennessee. And I'm not going to mention their name, but their sets were 5-hour sets. Now, from what I understand, that's kind of typical in the restaurant industry. A 5-hour set of music for a piano player, that's hard work. Like, that's a shift. Well, at retirement communities, it's just an hour. It's an hour set most of the time. So I thought, okay, well, why don't I just do that? But instead of making $25 an hour, which is what I was making at the steakhouse, plus tips, of course, but tips, the tips I found were not really reliable, and averaged out across my tenure at this steakhouse, I was not making as much as I was making at retirement communities. So if I'm going to play 5 hours in a day, why don't I get full price at 5 different communities that are like half an hour away from each other and just play 10 a.m., 12:30, 2, 3:30, and 5 p.m. That's what I do. I mean, that's what I aspire to. Not every day is like that, because it's grueling, it's hard work, but it pays pretty well. So all this to say, it was the right choice for me. It was the right choice to start playing at retirement communities, to make a bigger impact, to reclaim my health. Oh, and another reason why I like stacking this, like for 5 hours at the steakhouse, like I didn't have to be high energy for the whole time. Yeah, I'm high energy maybe at a 10 a.m. and maybe at a 2 p.m. and maybe at a 3:30 p.m. But 12 and 5, those are dinner shows. I can be relaxed. A lot of memory care, you can be relaxed. Like not low energy, but chilled energy. Like relaxing background jazz, something that you can do where the music just flows through you. That's part of my secret of playing 5 gigs in a day. But the point is, I reclaimed my time and I started playing day gigs instead of night gigs, and the day gigs pay better and they're more fulfilling and they make more of an impact. My point isn't to brag. My point is to demonstrate that it's possible. And I want to help you to do that. If you're a piano player or a musician, join my group in the description and you can talk with other piano players that are doing this. And you can ask me questions and get answers. Also, be sure to like and subscribe. I love making these videos, and I'm committed to teaching how to do these gigs because they're worth it. And I'm super grateful for being able to do this. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you in the next one.